The night had fallen quietly over the Miller mansion, but inside its walls, a storm was brewing. 8-year-old Lily sat on the edge of her bed, clutching her small teddy bear, the only thing that felt like comfort since her stepmother, Veronica, had entered her life. Her father, Ethan Miller, a millionaire businessman, had married Veronica 2 years ago, believing she would bring warmth and love into their home after Lily's mother passed away. But he couldn't have been more wrong. When Ethan left for work trips, Veronica's true nature revealed itself: harsh words, cruel punishments, and a heart cold as stone. That evening, Veronica's voice echoed through the long hallway. "Didn't I tell you to clean this room before dinner?" she yelled, stepping inside Lily's small, neatly arranged room. Lily flinched. "I did, stepmom. I was just finishing my homework." Before she could finish, Veronica's hand struck her cheek. "Don't you dare talk back to me," she hissed. The sound of her palm hitting the little girl's skin filled the air, followed by Lily's quiet sob. Veronica kicked at the small toy that rolled beneath her feet. "You're just like your mother, weak, pathetic, and useless." Outside, rain began to fall against the windows. Lily didn't know that, for the first time in months, her father's business trip had been cut short. Ethan had missed his daughter terribly and wanted to surprise her by coming home early. He parked his car quietly in the driveway and walked toward the house with a bouquet of lilies, her favorite flowers. As he stepped into the hallway, the muffled sound of crying reached his ears. He froze. His heart began to pound. Lily's room was upstairs, and the sound was coming from there. He walked slowly up the staircase, each step heavier than the last. When he reached the door, he heard a sharp voice, Veronica's voice, followed by another cry. Without a second thought, he pushed open the door. What he saw froze him in place. His wife stood over his daughter, one hand gripping Lily's arm, the other raised to strike again. For a moment, everything went silent: the rain, the air, his heartbeat. Then his voice thundered, "Veronica." She turned around, her face pale as if she had seen a ghost. Ethan, I can explain," but she didn't get to finish. Ethan's eyes, usually calm and kind, burned with fury. He rushed to Lily, kneeling beside her, checking her trembling face. "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Lily could barely speak, her small voice breaking. "Daddy, she hit me again." Ethan's heart shattered. He stood slowly, his tall frame towering over Veronica. "You laid a hand on my daughter." His voice was low but dangerous. Veronica stammered, "She disobeyed me. She's spoiled. She needed discipline." But Ethan took a step closer, his voice trembling with rage. "Discipline? She's a child, Veronica. My child." The room was filled with tension, the kind that could crush the air out of anyone's lungs. Without another word, Ethan pointed to the door. "Get out." Veronica's eyes widened. "Ethan, please, you can't get out of my house," he repeated, his voice cutting through her protests like a knife. She tried to beg, cry, defend herself, but Ethan had seen enough. For months he had ignored small signs: Lily's fear, her hesitation to speak, the shadows under her eyes. Guilt washed over him like a wave. He called security and made sure she left that night, her cries echoing down the long marble hallway as the front door closed behind her forever. When the door finally shut, Ethan turned to his daughter. She sat there quietly, her little hands trembling. He knelt beside her again, tears filling his eyes. "I'm so sorry, Lily. I should have protected you." She shook her head softly. "It's okay, Daddy. You're here now." Ethan hugged her tightly, his heart breaking at how small she felt in his arms. He carried her to his room that night, letting her fall asleep beside him, her tiny hand still clutching his shirt. Outside, the rain washed the night clean, as if the heavens themselves were weeping and forgiving. The next morning, sunlight filled the house. It felt different, warmer, safer. Ethan woke up early and sat beside his daughter, watching her sleep peacefully for the first time in months. He realized that all the money, all the business success, meant nothing compared to this, the smile of his child. When Lily opened her eyes, she found her father smiling at her. "Good morning, sunshine," he said softly. "Today's going to be a new beginning for us." He made her favorite breakfast: pancakes shaped like hearts, strawberries, and honey. As she ate, her laughter returned, fragile but real. Later, Ethan took her to the park where they used to go with her mother. They walked by the lake, feeding ducks and talking about school, friends, and dreams. For the first time, Lily felt like she had her father back. That afternoon, Ethan made a decision that would change both their lives forever. He called his lawyer and said, "I'm not just firing Veronica's lawyer's firm, I'm setting up a new foundation." "What kind of foundation, sir?" the lawyer asked. Ethan replied, "One that protects children who can't protect themselves. I want to fund shelters, therapy, and legal support for kids who face abuse, just like my daughter did." Word spread fast about the Lily Hope Foundation. Within months, it became one of the most respected charities in the state. Parents, teachers, and volunteers joined hands to help children in need. Ethan used his wealth not for luxury, but for healing hearts. He attended every event with Lily by his side, introducing her proudly as his bravest girl. She would smile shyly, but in her eyes shone a light stronger than before, the light of survival, love, and hope. But behind every smile was also a lesson learned. One evening, months later, as they sat watching the sunset from their porch, Lily turned to her father and asked, "Daddy, do you still hate her?" Ethan thought for a long moment before answering. "I don't hate her anymore, sweetheart. Hate only keeps us trapped. I just hope she finds the help she needs, and that she never hurts anyone again." Lily looked at him, surprised. "You forgive her?" He nodded gently. "Forgiveness doesn't mean what she did was okay. It means I'm choosing peace for us, not pain." Lily leaned her head on his shoulder. "Mom would be proud of you," she whispered. Ethan smiled through his tears. "No, sweetheart, she'd be proud of us, for surviving, for choosing kindness." As years passed, their bond grew stronger. Lily became a bright young woman, known for her compassion and courage. She often spoke at events for the foundation, telling her story not as a victim, but as a survivor. "Pain can destroy you," she would say, "or it can teach you how to heal others. My father showed me that love, real love, means never giving up on someone, even when life hurts." Ethan would sit quietly in the front row during her speeches, tears glistening in his eyes. He remembered that dark night, the shock, the anger, the helplessness. But he also remembered the morning after, when everything changed. That morning wasn't just the start of a new day, it was the rebirth of his family, his purpose, his faith in goodness. 1 year later, something unexpected happened. Veronica, the stepmother, sent a letter to the foundation. It was short but sincere. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness," she wrote, "but your foundation helped a child I once hurt deeply, not with my hands, but with my anger. Seeing what you built made me realize what I destroyed. I'm in therapy now. Thank you for showing me what real love looks like." Ethan read the letter in silence. He didn't reply, but he placed it in his drawer, not out of bitterness, but as a reminder that even broken people can change. On the anniversary of the foundation's launch, Ethan and Lily stood together under the morning sun. A new building had just been opened, the Lily House, a safe home for children rescued from abuse. Kids ran around, laughing, their faces full of life. Lily looked at her father and said, "You know, Daddy, maybe everything happened so we could help them." Ethan nodded, eyes glistening. Sometimes, the worst nights lead to the brightest mornings. They walked through the hallways filled with colorful drawings and handmade thank you cards. Each smile, each child, was proof that pain could be transformed into purpose. As they stepped outside, a cool breeze brushed against their faces. Lily reached for her father's hand and said, "You kept your promise, you made the world better." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "No, sweetheart, you did, you reminded me what love really means." The sun rose higher, bathing them both in golden light. The shadows of the past had finally faded. For Lily, that one dark night had once been her worst memory, but now, it was the reason countless other children had a chance to smile. Her life had indeed changed forever, not because of wealth or power, but because love had won where cruelty once ruled. And as they walked back home, hand in hand, Ethan realized that the greatest success of his life wasn't in boardrooms or business deals. It was in that moment, watching his daughter's laughter fill the air, knowing that no matter how broken a family may become, compassion can always rebuild it. Because sometimes, a single act of courage, a father coming home early, a daughter choosing to forgive, can change everything. That night, as the city lights flickered in the distance, Ethan whispered a quiet prayer of gratitude. For second chances, for healing, and for the truth that love, once broken, can always find its way home.